Hi everyone, thank you so much for keeping it fine TV, and welcome to Talk Time with me, Simuliwe Pundi. And this is the show where we get to discuss issues and talk to someone outside there. And on today's show we are going to talk about neonatal health care. This is something that has been really on the rise today, and it has caused us to get to reach out to the young mothers out there and find a solution on how we are going to solve this. You can also text us and send us your feedback on 2244 or tweet us using the hashtag TalkTime with Simuliwe Pundi, or you can personally tweet me at Simuliwe Pundi. And now I'll get to introduce my panel, where in my immediate right I have Brenda Atieno, who is the mother to Ryan Silvanos, who is 2 months old, I guess. Then next to Brenda we have Diana Ondicho, mother to Carl Zuri, a very handsome boy who is around 3 months, getting to 4, turning 4 next month. And we have Dr. Manasseh Mwangi, who is a specialist in pediatric issues. Maybe if I start off with Brenda, would you tell us how was your experience immediately when you received your baby, and were you taught on how you're going to handle your baby back at home?
Thank you very much for having me. My name is Brenda Atieno, and I'm the mother to Ryan Silvanas, as you've been told. And I was taught on breastfeeding. That's what I was taught. And being a first mother, I didn't know how to breastfeed. And having just that experience, knowing how to position your child, and knowing how you are supposed to hold him and give him the breast milk, it was just an amazing experience. So I like the fact that they taught me how to do that.
So they only taught you how to breastfeed?
Yes.
All right. So Diana, maybe if you just share with us, what were you taught when you got your baby?
Yeah, I'm Diana, and thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I was not told anything. I remember I just gave birth, and even when it comes to clothing the baby, I didn't know. They just wrapped him up and gave me the baby. I didn't even know how to hold him. So they just gave me the baby. They didn't tell me anything.
That's so unfortunate. And this brings you, doctor, as in, what's your take? Was that right? Immediately after mother gives birth, I tend to understand that you're supposed to be taught some few things. Was that being professional or something? What can you say on that?
Okay, thank you for having me here. There's something that she said she wasn't taught anything, and that should not be happening in our hospitals. And there's something that one of my lecturers told me in class. He said there's a law of nature that states that you can't have an effect without a cause. And in our country there's a problem with the hospitals, not with the mothers. The hospitals have the equipment, the personnel, they are taught and they're effective. But the problem comes in when we start pointing fingers to the mothers who are conceiving children and giving birth, so that when they come to the hospital and they give birth, that anger, the stigma, the prejudice falls on the mother, so that her care, her health, including the health of the baby, will be affected. And most nurses, there was a statistic 2 years ago that was done concerning the competency of the health workers, the medics and the nurses in the hospitals. It was 99%, which means it's 100. So these guys have no problem. The problem comes in with how we deal with the young mothers.
So in short, you're just saying that after birth, it's the responsibilities of the nurses and the doctors to teach these young mothers what to do. Because as Diana is saying, she got home and she knew nothing. And this brings us to the statistics that close to 7,000 lives are lost daily. And what is it that the hospitals are not doing? And what's your take? What should we do? because we can't, this is a large number. 7,000 is a very large number. So how can you tell, as in the other doctors and nurses and the health facilities out there?
Yeah, there's something that you see when you look at a baby. When I'm in the hospital, there's something that we're usually reminded every time. When you look at a child, when they've just been born, or they've come with their mothers or fathers, you should look at that child as a wound. As a wound, so that you ask yourself, if I were a wound, you see, if I was a wound, how would I like to be treated? You see?
All right.
So when they come to the hospital, or when they are born, the first thing is to assess the stability of the child. We have nurses who are trained in resuscitation, so that if the child has any issues when they come out, there is immediate help.
All right.
We also have nurses who are trained in the emotional stability of that mother. You see, the last year, 4 million children, neonates, died, and that number is not going down. So they were saying, out of the 130 million children who are born, 4 million have to die, not because of the environment in the hospitals, but because of the staff in the hospitals. And once again, I'm emphasizing, these hospitals have equipment, they have competent people. The problem comes in with how we view. There's a stigma that comes with conceiving children when you are not yet mature.
So maybe if I just bring in Diana, what was your perception like after you went home? What did you do? Because you had that child, he needed to be taken care of, but you knew nothing. What was your take?
So I thank God that my mom, obviously, our moms are experienced.
Yes.
So my mom came in and she helped me by clothing and taking care of the baby. So I was not even given any medicine to put on the lab.
How did you do that? Because
So
I tend to
I
understand.
didn't know. First of all, I didn't know that you're supposed to put anything.
And doctor, we have this issue that most kids are having. It's called jaundice. Maybe did you have any jaundice issues with your son?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Me, when I gave birth, I didn't know that my son had jaundice.
Mm-hmm. So it was immediately after you gave birth is when your son had jaundice?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to discuss that after the break. Keep it here as we're going for a short break. When we come back, we're going to discuss more.
They're all going in the same direction, but in very different ways. And Pampers gives all of them our driest, best-fitting diaper. Pampers Cruisers with 3-way fit. They adapt at the waist, legs, and bottom, with up to 12 hours of protection for all the freedom to move their way in Pampers Cruisers. Only Pampers diapers are the #1 choice of hospitals, nurses, and parents.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for keeping it Fine TV, and welcome to Talk Time, of course, with me, Simuli Wepundi. Those joining us right now, we're discussing about neonatal healthcare, and in studio we have Dr. Manasseh and these two amazing ladies just trying to share their experiences as new mothers and trying to communicate their challenges and what they went through just to bring up their babies. And before the short break, we were talking about jaundice. And now, Daktari, I bring you in. What's the jaundice and how is it brought about and how is it treated?
Jaundice, the first thing is that it's not a disease. It's a sign of something that's wrong with the body. And what happens is, when you look at the red cells, when they're being broken down, there's something that's released called hemoglobin. So if you don't combine it with some of the things that are happening in the liver, that substance called bilirubin can come and stain the eyes. They can be yellow. If you're not so black, someone may notice the change in the color, the tinge may be yellow.
So what are the quickest signs that a mother can notice that her child has jaundice? The quickest sign that the mother will notice that my child is not okay.
So the quickest is the eye, the sclera, the white part. It's usually yellow instead of white. So if you look at it, and if the slightest tinge of a change in color, you need to run to the hospital.
Where else? The hands, where the hands, the legs?
The palms, especially the tips. You may look at the foot chini, or you may look at the neck. You see, for those who are brown, you'll see the yellow change in color, or even the tips of the ears. Yeah.
So Diana, did you experience any signs of jaundice in your son?
No, I didn't experience.
Also, you are fine. You are okay. You are told how to handle that.
My mom did everything.
All right. You have a very amazing mom. Brenda, did you have any experiences in jaundice or something?
Yes, I had. As I said before, I had my child had jaundice, but I didn't know, and the doctors also didn't even tell me. So when I went home, I went on with my business, and fortunately it was my mom who told me that my child has jaundice, and then she gave me the instruction of going to put the child in the sun so that it may go.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate your time. And that marks the end of our discussion today. I wish we had time. We could have talked and talked and talked. At least we've learned one or two things, and I'm hoping that you've communicated to young mothers out there who have no clue of how to hold the babies and the basics of how to handle their newborns. Thank you so much for